Welcome back to edtechbymeera, and in today's lesson we are going to do what is the meaning of args and how to use them in Python. Now what do you mean by args? This is a short form for arbitrary arguments, and it is used in case, like for example, when you're calling a function and you do not know how many arguments you're going to use, then in that particular scenario you are going to use args, and you don't need to call them args. You can use a parameter in the parenthesis when you're defining the function, and before the parameter you need to write a asterisk mark. So this stands for args before the parameter in the case when you in the stage when you're defining the function. This way what happens is the function will can receive any number of arguments, and it can access the items accordingly, and these arguments can be passed to the function while calling it in the form of a tuple. So let's see this case. My function, we use before the parameter pets the asterisk, and then print my favorite pet is, okay, whatever the statement, and the variable name or the parameter name pets with an index, because right now we don't know how many arguments will be passed while we are calling the function. So just give it an index of, let's say, 3. Then after that call the function, which I showed you yesterday how to do in the previous class how to do. So then my function, that is the name of the function, right? And then call it. Now when you're calling it now with multiple arguments. Let's call it with multiple arguments. It could be any number of arguments. Yeah. So dog, cat, fish, mouse, rabbit, monkey, anything. So many. So I'm going to write all of it that comes into my mind. And then let's see. So usually this happens when you are calling it with multiple arguments, or when you are defining also, when you are writing multiple parameters or arguments inside the parenthesis. So to avoid that, you do this shortcut. So I've written whatever comes into my mind, all the arguments, and then let's run the function. So let's run the function after this, after calling the function with multiple arguments. Usually people do this in traditional style by writing argument 1, argument 2, argument 3 in place of the parameters inside the parenthesis. So instead of doing that, this is much more easier, right? So let's run it. Okay, the favorite pet is monkey. We didn't even write this multiple parameters inside the defined function, but still we are able to access the items by writing the multiple arguments right inside my function when we are calling my function. So this is the beauty of it. This is the advantage of using the args. That is the arbitrary arguments with a asterisk sign before the parameter sign while you're calling the function. Now, like I said earlier, you can either call it pets, or the conventional way you can say the asterisk and then the args. But remember to use the same term when you're printing it, args. But when you're calling it, no need to say args, you'll be writing the argument straight away, argument values, multiple values. So it gives you the same outcome, as you can see. So this is the reason why you use the arbitrary arguments, in short, asterisk, args, in your Python functions. In situations when we don't know how many arguments will be passed into your function, yeah. That is the situation when you're going to be using this args. So next, in my next tutorial, I'll be using another tutorial on quarks. So I'm trying here with different indexes, as you can see, and I will get different outcome based on the index.